Rosanna, you are the problem. It's like they're completely trying to discredit a woman who is saying something happened to her, and then trying to also play the card of being like, well, we believe women, we stand with women, and it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have made this video.
Oh my God, there's more Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni for Casey Anthony to try to make a resurgence as a legal advocate.
The return of Tot Mom. It feels like a dirt sandwich in my mouth.
Did you watch the Gabby Petito documentary series?
Yes.
Me too.
Okay.
Millie Bobbie Brown, she was walking a red carpet and got a lot of negative feedback based on her appearance. The Oscars. We'll do a quick little recap.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Glitter Gel Pen.
Episode 19. I'm Jill.
I'm Melissa.
We are back, baby. The hot topics are hot topicing.
Yeah, I've been consuming so much. I'm ready. I'm ready to get this out.
The past couple weeks were a little bland.
Yeah.
They were a little like no salt.
I don't even want to talk about myself today.
No, I want to get into this because we got some good things coming. Do we want to start with the banger?
It's what everyone is here for.
It's the elephant in the room.
Before we jump into this, I just wanted to remind everyone that we do not know any of the people that we are discussing. We are watching, commenting, and reacting for entertainment as entertainment. Although some of the subjects that we are discussing are serious, at the end of the day, we are reacting to YouTubers making videos back and forth as if it is 2019. This is like our version of reality TV, and as a viewer, we eat this up. We also don't have any negative feelings towards anyone. Although we don't agree with the way that Rosanna handled this situation, this is all in good fun. This episode was recorded before Rosanna responded to any of the backlash.
Rosanna, you are the problem.
Yes.
In summation, before we do jump into the story, I want to give Rosanna's backstory.
Okay.
It's not super long.
The first I ever saw of her was the games that she did with Mr. Beast, like whatever. That was the first thing I ever saw of her. I did not know who she was before Mr. Beast. Yeah. So,
well, if you don't know what we're talking about, Rosanna Pansino has created an 1.5 hour long podcast calling Tana Mongeau a liar in regards to all the Joey Graceffa drama. And
she wasn't even involved.
I know. And last week, we literally said, I'm pretty sure all that drama is now wrapped up. Jill literally said that I think that Tana got what she wanted out of just speaking out about it, and I think it all went really well.
It did not go really well with Rosanna. Tana talking about it on Canceled got the job done.
I think you're right. I think that the episode that she put out about it kind of like got the whole point across. I would be really surprised if it continues another week in the headlines.
Yeah, it shouldn't, for sure. Because I think that it's squashed now.
It actually got so much worse. And Trisha is crying on YouTube in 2025.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's crazy. So here is a mini deep dive on who Rosanna Pansino is, in case you don't know and you're like us. I didn't really know anything about her, like Jill said as well, like until the Beast Game stuff came out. And we were like, honestly, I don't even think I would have found it if we weren't doing this podcast. She started YouTube in 2011 with a baking show called Nerdy Nummies. It still is going on and does really well. But she was actually on Scream Queens, the Saw movie, one of the Saw movies, CSI, Glee, Star Trek.
What? I'm confused because I've literally seen like all of these things that you've mentioned, and
she's
not recall her.
She's never had a breakout role, but she's been there. Like, she's one of those people that are just, she's been around.
Kind of like Trisha Paytas, where it's like a passing by kind of thing. Okay.
Exactly. She was even a guest on Disney's Bizaardvark with Jake Paul and Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
Crazy. And she later, on her IMDb, you will see that in 2018 to 2019, she was on Joey Graceffa's Escape the Night.
Okay.
She is now known in our corner of the internet for her hatred of Mr. Beast. Mm-hmm. She actually reported Jimmy to the FBI.
No.
And
Okay. No, this bitch needs to get a handle on things, because what?
I know. I knew that, like, she had created videos, but when I saw a tweet from her that reads, This girl, like, that's why I wanted to give this backstory, because, like, it makes all this so much funnier. I have reported what I found and my concerns to the authorities at FBI. Hopefully, they will look into these Mr. Beast Telegram company chat logs and other concerns. This story is going in a direction you don't expect it to. So,
what chat logs is she talking about?
She's referring to the Reddit threads and the forums with Ava Chris Tyson.
Okay.
Okay. Rosanna Pansino took to YouTube to share her findings with her fans in a 20-minute video titled Mr. Beast Knew All Along 1,000 Leaked Messages. In the detailed snippet, she claimed to have found over 1,000 leaked messages that suggested that Mr. Beast was always aware of Chris Ava Tyson. I say that backwards every time. Chris Tyson's unethical behavior. The information Pansino showcased highlights chats covering various contentious topics such as cannibalism, sexuality, and shortly after exposing Mr. Beast on the internet, she announced on Twitter that she had reported the most subscribed YouTuber to the FBI in the tweet that I just read. Reporting someone to the FBI, creating an expose video, two kind of different things.
Yeah.
But then posting on Twitter that someone, that you did it is also like, okay, you're announcing that you're doing it for clout, obviously.
Yeah. She's trying to flex for something that, like, you shouldn't, like, it's not a flex, you know?
But why did she take it so personally that she, right, exposed him to the FBI and she was the one to let him know?
She's acting like exposing him to the FBI is a flex, and to that I say, Rosanna, it's not, and maybe a flex would be if you were the most subscribed YouTube channel.
Yes. So this is the part of the story where I was like, I'm missing something. Why does she care? While researching and digging more into this, I found the following Reddit post. This is a response of someone in the Mr. Beast Snark Reddit, like, explaining the backstory. It's not super long. There is indeed a past between Mr. Beast and Rosanna Pansino, which is largely harmless YouTube drama, but the recent development is much more serious. Pansino made a video where she claimed to have come into possession of chat logs from a Telegram group in which Mr. Beast and members of his team had shared child sexual exploitation materials. One of the images in question being a nude image of 13-year-old Ivanka Trump. She claimed to have passed on this information to the FBI. That is supposedly why she called the FBI.
Okay, is this true? Do we know that this is true?
There are multiple sources saying that it's true. But because it's a minor, they're going to keep that information protected.
Okay.
Many people have praised Pansino for this, but problems have arisen over how she chose to do it. The correct thing to do after forwarding it to the FBI, and by correct, I mean legal, would be to delete all copies of it. Unfortunately, Pansino instead edited the images to partially censor them, then featured them in the video she posted to YouTube calling out Mr. Beast on the issue. This is bad.
This was never about, like, getting someone for their wrongdoings.
No.
This was about clout. She wanted to go after the most subscribed YouTube. She was feeling a little bad that her channel from 2011, most people, the hungry nummies, nobody ever heard of before. And she's like, you know what? This could be my claim to fame. Yeah. Ivanka Trump and Mr. Beast. Hell yeah.
Jill is hot.
She gets on my nerves.
I am not a fan. There's just more sources saying that the Ivanka Trump rumor is potentially true.
Which, if that's true, that is not good. Like, right. not defending that. But I'm just saying.
What's the difference between that and Rosanna having the stuff, using it for clout, tweeting, like, it's like giving money to a homeless person and posting on Twitter that you did it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, for what?
Yeah. It's giving, I want recognition. Somebody please notice me. I've been here since 2011.
Yeah. This still doesn't make sense why Rosanna hates him. In 2021, Rosanna Pansino took part in Mr. Beast's extreme $1 million hide and seek.
This was the first thing I ever heard of her.
Okay, this is what it stems from. It's a challenge alleging that despite being a top 3 contender, Mr. Beast manipulated the results to favor other creators. She voiced concerns in sexism and inauthenticity on Twitter and in podcasts. After a wave of death threats, she deleted her tweets and issued an apology to Mr. Beast for addressing the matter publicly, though notably she's never retracted her allegations.
this whole story, again, was just her being dramatic and wanting clout and wanting to talk about Mr. Beast and, like, get viewership off of his back. Because literally she's like, he edited it to make it look like I got out later than I did. It's like, bitch, you didn't win anyways. You literally like got out third, and he edited you to be out fourth or fifth. Like, woo, big deal.
The one thing about her experience that I'll like back, even though she doesn't back Tana, there were scenarios where she might have felt uncomfortable on set because of an environment. There might have just been some I'm not going to look into it further. I don't need to know. I think there might have been some scenarios where she felt uncomfortable. I think that's what Trisha was referencing in her reaction to Rosanna Pansino when she was like, you know, we stood behind you.
So then how hypocritical to be where we are now.
Yes.
If that supposedly happened to you.
That's pretty much the summary. Rosanna has now launched her podcast, Ridiculous, or whatever it's called, which is where she needed to issue an emergency statement 3 weeks after the drama has subsided.
Yeah. Did anybody ask for this? Probably not. This emergency statement, did anybody ask for this from Rosanna, who was not involved whatsoever?
You know what? It's so weird that I wonder if Joey asked her to say something. Why do you care about the way that people are perceiving Joey Graceffa's drama? Why are you so...
Literally.
Joey even said in his statement on Just Trish that he handled it offline.
Give Just Trish an exclusive statement in response to Tana. He said, I sent Tana a text. I don't see why she can't handle things offline. I apologize to her for how I talked about it on the pod, though, and I was just being playful. I think Tana's been hurt by a lot of people and put me in the same boat of people who have wronged her with people with bad intentions, but I genuinely feel bad and was shocked by her reaction, and I instantly texted her. We also handled it on set, and he said he's going to send her flowers. So I hope all's well that ends well.
He didn't want to handle it online. That was the one thing that he said consistently. He was like, Tana, I don't know why she has to do this online. There's no way Joey asked her to do that. But then again, someone gave Rosanna permission to show that video clip at the end of her episode. Did you watch it all the way to the end?
Like with her in the handcuffs or whatever?
Yeah, she said, I got permission from someone. Who else do you think she got permission from?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously coming from Joey.
But maybe she didn't spill the whole tea of what she was doing. She was probably just saying, hey, I'm just gonna make a video and just show real quick what it was like in that freezer.
That's true.
You know,
I can't imagine Joey having been upset at the way that it blew up with Tana talking about it, and now Rosanna is stirring it up even more. Trisha is crying. I can't believe it. Fire was out last week.
It was squashed. It was done. Rosanna is crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
You're a hypocrite. You're a clout goblin. You're crazy.
I made some notes, I guess just watching it, because I knew the video is an hour and a half long and I wasn't gonna remember everything that they talked about. One thought I had was just can you imagine being on a vacation? You get out of the shower, you wrap your hair up in a towel, and then you sit down to analyze every word spoken on the canceled podcast. And then some man's there who's just there to be well, if you choose to hate half of the population, that's a choice. And he's just mad because Tana said she wanted death to all men, as if she was serious.
Literally, they can't take a joke.
I don't hate all of a gender.
They can't take a joke.
We hate on Tana on this podcast.
Yeah, no, we do.
We do it from the place, just like we hate on Trisha.
Yeah.
We are fans of them first.
Literally, it's out of, it sounds crazy, but it's out of love. We watch them and we like them. We just have critiques sometimes as their parasocial BFFs.
Yeah, we look at them as our friends. They don't know who we are. Mm-hmm. So we sit on this couch and this is our room to talk about them. Because there's nowhere else for people understand, but the people that are watching, y'all get it.
Yeah.
I know that y'all get that. So we hate on her in a way, but at the end of the day, we are fans of her. We consume every piece of content that she makes.
Yeah.
And hearing someone else hate on her from such an angry place, and I even tried really, really hard to see Rosanna's perspective on it and why she's upset. It bothered me so bad to hear someone saying these things about Tana, and just nitpicking every little thing that she said. We can hate on Tana because we love her, and at the end of the day, we're not actually saying anything like to discount like her experiences because of her past or anything like that. Like, but I will not stand for someone else taking our girl down.
It's like whenever you're like, you have a sibling or something and you're like, I can bully them, but nobody else can. Yes. It's like, that's how it is.
That's how it feels. Starting off, Rosanna, to act like Tana Mongeau needs to use your name for a hot topic.
I feel like she just kind of used your name to essentially have a piece of content. And I think they were even saying in a recent podcast that drama is slow right now. So
business is slow, so just run me over.
Yeah.
Tana could fart, and we would make a podcast episode about it.
Yeah, and literally the first episode ever that Tana talked about it, she didn't even say Rosanna's name. She didn't say Escape the Night, Joey Graceffa, Rosanna. Yes. She didn't say anybody's name. So she was not using your name, Rosanna, for clout.
And I didn't even know what YouTuber she was talking about smoking her dad. I had no idea. Neither. And someone, I forget whose reaction I was watching, but someone was like, Brooke probably didn't even know that she was talking about Rosanna whenever she was like, and what did she have to say about that? Because Rosanna obviously hates Brooke. Mm-hmm. And like,
she's like, Brooke hates me. Brooke hates me so much. Look at her face. Look at her scowl.
Yeah.
Time Brooke mentions Ro, you can tell
her face just scowls.
Just
her
how much hatred is there.
Look at her face. And so right here in this clip, she goes, "Isn't that illegal?"
I can't believe she had a moment of clarity in the shower before recording this podcast. Like taking a shower.
To where she thought she was...
Like, she thought she ate.
She was in the shower and she was like, oh my God, when I get out, we have to film this immediately. Like, no drying our hair, no doing, I'm still in my robe. I'm not even putting on clothes. I have to do this.
Dumb.
Next week, we're recording a podcast episode in a hotel. And we're going to have our bathrobes and our towels on our head. And like, we were already planning to do this, but now we're going to look like we're doing like Rosanna Pansino cosplay. Before I got into the whole episode, I had just written the reference that I remember Tana making about Rosanna was that she felt like someone like Rosanna wouldn't be so direct to address the uncomfortable comment on set, like head on like she did, which like I get a little bit. Like, you don't want her to think. Rosanna took that as like Tana calling her weak, but I also read comments that said this and I kind of thought this. I think that she meant more that people would care if it happened to Rosanna. Mm-hmm. And people were like, oh, that's just Tana.
What if that like, it's just, what if that happened to someone who didn't say what the did you just say?
They said, what if that happened to Rosanna Pansino? And then, ready for this?
Like, what if that like, it's just, what if that happened to someone who didn't say what the did you just say?
So she's saying, what if it happened to me and I wouldn't stand up for myself?
But Rosanna wanted to take it personal. Yeah. You know, like everything in Tana's video.
Yeah.
Like she just wanted to be hurt.
So in the beginning of Tana's video, and we can insert it here.
Like at 9:30 in the morning, I'm standing there like fully ready, like in a fucking gown. And I'm having a YouTuber tell me that their parent just passed away and they turned their ashes into marijuana and then they smoked their parent. And I'm like, it's 9:30 in the morning and I'm downtown and this YouTuber is telling me about how they smoked their dead parent.
Whenever it first starts off, lays out the story and she's like, I'm in downtown LA at 9 a.m. and this YouTuber starts telling me how she's smoking her dead dad. What do you think? Like, that is the one thing that I'm like, she was being overdramatic, but she's also a story time person on a podcast with her girlfriends.
And also, I don't know for sure, but like Rosanna probably thought like I could see a world where Rosanna thought it was funny to word it in that way.
Like,
you know,
like trying to be a quirky girl.
Yeah.
I thought that too.
Being
I was
just
like
smoking my dead dad, hee.
And she was so offended that she thought Trisha and Tana like judged her for it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they ever judged her for it.
No.
I think that Rosanna, when she told the story, thought she was being quirky and cute. And like, yes, she was honoring her dead father's wishes. But I think that she thought she was being quirky and cute. And it's like you could say we're sitting here in the living room recording a podcast, or you could say we're two delusional girls talking into an abyss hoping that somebody out there hears us and understands us because we want to be podcasters one day. Both things are true, but like that's a more interesting statement than us sitting here talking to nobody.
Yeah.
It just... them nitpicking that stuff
I know,
grinding my gears. And Tana saying she can't believe something happened to her And Mike literally stopped the podcast and was like, that's a weird way to start a story.
I just fucking hate men, and I cannot believe this happened to me. Like, so I'm going to tell it.
I don't know. That seems a weird way to start a story for me.
I want to slap that man. I don't know anything about him.
You're literally, first of all, Rosanna has nothing to do with this. And then second of all, you really have nothing to do with this. Nobody even knows who you are. Go away. Go somewhere.
Yeah, literally.
Death to men. All of them.
That whole experience is tainted for Tana in her brain. And so if she's going to look back on it, she might look at it differently. She might tell the story differently than you remember it. And like, she has a negative perception of it. So it's just like...
Yeah, and also like Tana being in a bad mood, it's like everybody has those days. Hannah Montana. But two, like maybe Tana wasn't in a bad mood and like people just have RBF, you know? Like maybe that's her case. Maybe she was just sitting on her phone or whatever doing her thing and you just wanted to think that she was pissed off. Like...
So she also said that Tana did... This is funny to me. Tana did the least amount of work out of anyone. And the funny part is that this is probably the most people have ever spoken about Escape the Night.
Dumb.
Let that sink in before we like try to pull Tana's name into a headline and like act like we need Rosanna's name involved too to make it make sense.
Yeah. The math ain't math in Rosanna. No. It's just not.
So they just continue to like nitpick every part of her story. Tana did bring up, like we said, like Rosanna smoking her dad. She never said her name and I would have never known it was about her.
But also another thing is after Tana told this story about, without naming Rosanna, about saying that someone said they were smoking their dad, Rosanna puts out her stupid ass podcast, smoking her dad. It's like, yeah, you wanted everyone to find out. You wanted everyone to know that that's who Tana was talking about because you want the clout, you freaking clout goblin.
Why did she text Trisha? And why did she tell Tana on set if it wasn't a piece of entertainment? Like,
yeah.
I get, like, maybe she didn't want people to think she was crazy for doing that. I understand, like, letting your mom and your family know, like, I'm going to use this title for clickbait. Like, I'm not actually, like, whatever.
Or, like, if you were going to have a problem with it, like, yeah, you can say, like, yeah, I said that I was smoking my dad. Really, like, the way that we did it, it's not as ashes, it's this. You know, like, we grew it with the, like, in the soil and whatever. And, like, then just go on with your day. But, like, don't be all upset about it if you first said it as if it was like an entertainment factor, you know?
This is Alyssa coming to you live from the editing room. I did not realize at the time of recording this podcast the title of Rosanna Pansino's first podcast episode, Ridiculous, literally being titled Smoking My Dead Dad.
Exactly. And I think that's the way that it was shared from the beginning. And I think that's why Tana felt comfortable. But that's the part of the story that Rosanna and Mike aren't telling. I really don't like him.
Me neither.
Everyone has talked really positively about him and been like, I didn't see him acting like this. This is coming out of left field. And I'm like, well, I can see him any other way. So get him away from me.
Him taking her jokingly saying that like all men deserve death. Seriously, is giving boomer humor.
Now she wants to kill all men.
On Facebook, when your aunt, you post like a meme that's supposed to be funny and they're like, well, actually, like, you know, that's like what it's giving.
Why are you telling people if you're going to just like put it up? If it's that meaningful, why do you care what they think?
Yeah.
And like, I do think it was like a beautiful thing. And I don't think anyone ever said anything negative about it. I think Tana just told
it's a wild story. Like, yeah, and it is. I've never met someone who smoked their parent before, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and the circumstance is funny. Tana Mongeau is in a ball gown at 9 a.m. in downtown LA. And some YouTuber did just say that she smoked her dead dad. Yeah. She has said nothing that's inaccurate yet.
No.
It's funny.
Yeah. And I don't think Tana was even, like, she wasn't even meaning it negative, but Rosanna just wants to be hurt all the time.
Yeah.
That's literally her whole vibe with Mr. Beast, with this. Just everything I've seen of her is she wants to be offended.
Yeah.
So, I hope don't die. I'll have to smoke Alyssa.
Why do Rosanna and Mike give the same energy as our TikTok comments?
Dumb.
What a fun little group of people. Kill all men.
I didn't know this was so miserable.
I can't stand people that will just comment like, you must be really miserable. It's like, no, I'm actually having a good time.
It's like, girl, you're on vacation. You just got out of the shower in like Bora Bora or something and feel like sitting down to make a video on this. So
bizarre. Just thinking about the fact that this is a video of a woman telling a story where she was made to feel uncomfortable in a sexually scary way. And the idea of them sitting there discrediting her based on the dramatizations of whether or not there were women on set. It's just like, it's just unnecessary and it's completely pointless. The way that Mike and Rosanna were talking about this set of Escape the Night as if it was like the most official thing and like you should come there and you should be professional and you should not complain. I have spent time in the warehouses in downtown LA where people shoot stuff. I will say, like, those buildings are kind of scary because they're all really, really old, even though they've been remodeled and they have like these like sets in different corners of them. I don't know exactly what building they were in, but like they're all dungeony looking because they're these huge warehouse type rooms that are made to be able to be constructed into whatever you want it to look like. And that one was designed to look like a meat freezer.
Yeah.
If you were alone in a room with a strange older man that might repulse you a little bit and he said something to you, you would be freaked out, and it might even change and alter the way you perceive the entirety of the day.
Trisha talking about it, saying that Rosanna was judging, saying that they were being like uppity or whatever about not wanting to go to downtown LA. Trisha has to come out because Rosanna makes this freaking thing acting that way. Trisha has to come out and say, no, it's because like I fear for my safety because I've had 3 sexual assaults there. And it's just like, come on, Rosanna.
Yeah.
You know?
Whenever I was there, I stayed in downtown like a majority of the time. Like I actually like slept there at night. And I wouldn't even get out of my Uber because the door that I had to go into where I was staying, there was like a doorman or someone had to buzz you in from up top. And I wouldn't even get, like, I would tip the Uber guy extra money to sit there with me because I would not get out of the car until the doorman was at the door to open the door for me, or I knew that it was unlocked for me to get in. Because even though I'm talking like a sidewalk's distance, I wouldn't walk from my car to the door without absolutely not. No. I hated it.
Rosanna thinks that you're prissy and uppity, so
maybe I'm just a woman alone.
Yeah.
Moses commented on how Rosanna and Mike basically just like dissected every aspect of what Tana said on a podcast for entertainment until the interaction happened when they tried to play it off like, well, we believe her that happened. But we don't believe anything else that she said, and she's lying about everything else.
Yeah.
The over-exaggeration about Escape the Night and the falsehoods that she has repeated it time and time and time again.
It's like, when does exaggeration become lying? And I think you'll see
it tip.
Yeah, to me, it comes off as lying, but I think Tana does have a history of both exaggerating, but also making up things that didn't happen and getting called out for it.
It's like they're completely trying to discredit a woman who is saying something happened to her, and then trying to also play the card of being like, well, we believe women, we stand with women. And it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have made this video. That's the point of all of it, that I was like, y'all are so stupid.
Dumb.
She could have addressed the things that Tana did that could have been perceived as attacking her. Like, sure, at least they were somewhat about her. But instead, they chose to choose everything that she said.
Yeah. And literally, like how I said, Rosanna's not even involved in this. So, like, if she wanted to just respond about getting upset that Tana said that she was smoking her dead dad, like, if you wanted to be upset about that and just post something about that part, then, like, whatever, at least you're involved. You know what I mean? But literally everything else has nothing to do with you. Nobody asked for your opinion.
A part of me wonders, did Joey ask her to speak out? Because, like, I know he was ready for this drama to go away. I know he was.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have made it more of a thing whenever he even settled it with Tana offline. That's the stuff that I'm like, no, I think Rosanna's completely like on her own with this, and I think it's weird. The show hasn't even came out yet.
Yeah, and it's being talked about, and I'm sure now people are going to want to watch it.
I'm so curious to see.
I was never going to watch Escape the Night, but like now,
All I can think is when they're telling the story is they said it's like a bunch of people. They're playing tag. They're not. They're not actually like hurting each other. Like obviously they're not actually doing anything. They're all acting. But like, is it like a scary movie? But like with tag, like a bunch of adults playing tag.
I think it's like a horror reality show. Like it's like you get evicted or like you get sent home, but really like when that happens, you're supposedly like getting murdered. All the years of people talking about Escape the Night, what I've gathered and what I think it is, but I've never watched it. So
someone needs to make one of those videos like I watched Escape the Night so you don't have to, and then send it to us. Trisha was also saying that she started this entire, like Rosanna started this entire thing with Mr. Beast because she was treated badly as a woman by Mr. Beast. And then when it happened to Tana, she isn't standing behind her and she's just critiquing everything that she's saying.
Imagine how if Rosanna, when she said that something happened to her on the set of Mr. Beast, if everybody was literally taking her video and nitpicking every little thing she said and be like, no, that didn't happen actually. Instead of moving to the right when the guy did something, she actually moved to the left. So like she's lying.
And then showed a video clip of like behind the scenes to completely discredit everything that a woman like that Rosanna is saying. Like
literally, she would be livid. She would be like making 5 million YouTube videos, 600 podcast episodes about it, and now she's literally doing it to Tana.
We don't have a following, and it's not that like our words don't affect people the same way, but like we don't have a platform. We can say anything about anyone, and the odds are none of them are going to hear it unless we happen to blow up, and if so, I apologize. Rosanna is already like bigger, so I'm like, what were you thinking putting this out?
Yeah.
What man in his right mind is sitting beside you going, that's a good idea. Let's take her down.
Yeah.
Rosanna, you should like address the stuff that she did to you.
Mm-hmm.
The
address
other stuff,
the part about smoking your dad, leave everything else.
Like maybe like don't over dramatize that. Don't make me look like I'm smoking my dad because I didn't, even though you literally named your YouTube video to make people think that you did. She clocked Rosanna by saying that she was friends with Colleen for 10 years. And Trisha was like, should we think that you did the same things that Colleen did because y'all were friends for 10 years?
Yeah.
It's the same like mentality to give someone. So I was like, go Trisha.
Yeah.
We
love Trisha clocking people.
Really appreciate Trisha being so like straightforward with the way that she addressed it, because if she wouldn't have said anything, it would have eaten me alive.
Oh yeah,
like,
we would have been talking about it right here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just so glad that she just like faced it head on. She moved on, and now she's pregnant.
Okay, she is pregnant?
You didn't know?
No.
Oh, yeah, she announced it on today's episode of Just Trish.
Oh, okay. That because I saw the episode where she talked about like there was something big that she couldn't even tell Oscar or whatever.
That is the summary of the Rosanna Pansino drama.
I'm sure there will be more.
Oh yeah,
because Tana has yet to respond.
I'm waiting for. I'm expecting her to come out swinging, but Tana kind of, at least in the last year, has done what I don't expect her to do. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I want her to come out swinging. Rosanna might not see our words, but I want to manifest those into Tana.
Yeah.
So that she can say our words and Rosanna can get a piece. Oh my God, there's more Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
I know.
It's a never-ending saga.
It is. And don't read ahead.
Okay.
Because I want to tell this in an entertaining way. And if you don't know, it'll be entertaining.
Okay, I might have to make a YouTube video about it, though, if you're too dramatic. So...
Oh my God, she could nitpick the way that we talk about stuff. The Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni updates. Blake's lawyer requested that the evidence in the case be withheld. Also, shout out to Candace Owens, because I'm getting all my Blake Lively information from her. She explains it in a way that I understand what she's talking about. So, like, it makes it easy when I'm taking notes. Blake Lively's lawyer requested that the evidence in the case be withheld from the public and be considered AEO, which stands for Attorney's Eyes Only, which means that even the judge wouldn't be able to see it unless the attorneys allowed it. It would basically give the lawyers full control over what is shown publicly in the case. Is defeating kind of a lot of the purpose of both of them going to court, because they're trying to say public face. Well, the judge kind of shot their idea down because he said that the public is already so invested in this case that if he were to approve it, that it may be interpreted by the public that they are protecting some unknown powerful individuals because they're rich and famous. And they're not referencing who those people are.
Yeah.
Here is why that may have happened. If you remember in our episode 16, we discussed potential of Taylor Swift. This is going to get crazy. Okay. We discussed the potential of Taylor Swift being subpoenaed in the lawsuit. It seemed like Taylor Swift was starting to get brought up a lot in the lawsuit, and there was potential for her to be, y'all, I know so little about law. She would have to give a deposition. I don't know what that verb that I'm looking for. I want to say that she'd be deposed, but I don't think that's proper. You should go watch it. You can click the card on the screen right now if you're interested. There's been an update and a confirmation that she will be subpoenaed by the Daily Mail.
This is going to be juicy.
I know.
We get to see Taylor Swift's text messages.
I know. Unless they settle. Candace Owens had a theory that if the judge completely ruled out being able to keep some of the evidence hidden, there's a really good chance that Blake Lively will settle, because I don't think she wants Taylor Swift to be mad at her and be exposed to the public like that. Headline from Daily Mail. Sensational new twist as Taylor Swift will be subpoenaed in Blake Lively Justin Baldoni legal battle and faces being questioned under oath. Can you imagine if our text messages got put into the court system and then being like superstars on top of it?
Oh,
makes my skin crawl.
Just imagine, because some of these texts, I mean, they get everything, you know, like. And anything is fair game. It doesn't even, they can look at all of Taylor's texts from the times like that Blake was filming. And during that time, I think she was probably, for some of it, still with Joe. And we know what was happening.
Oh my God, guilty as sin.
They were besties, so you know how people talk, like, and stuff. I mean, Taylor probably is texting her like, bitch, you better settle.
I feel like at Taylor Swift's level of fame, she has to be like some kind of aware, like whenever she's writing out a text message that like, this could be public information. You're putting anything in writing. If I was like at that level of fame, I don't think I would text anymore. Unless it was like short answers about yes or no questions. Like I'd have to call everybody about everything because I'd be so paranoid.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine.
The next one, something that nobody, and I can guarantee that nobody asked for.
Oh my God. No one asked. No one asked.
Was for Casey Anthony. To try to make a resurgence and rebrand herself and come back to TikTok as a legal advocate
for her child. If you are younger than us and you don't remember what happened here, I put a TikTok that's really short that just like refreshes the story of Casey Anthony.
When this woman's daughter went missing, strange evidence revealed she wasn't telling the truth of what really happened. This is Casey Anthony, and in 2008, she reported her daughter Kylie missing to the police. The police were shocked to find out her daughter had been missing for over 30 days before Casey came to make the report. During the days of her disappearance, Casey was seen partying, drinking, and going out with friends instead of looking for her daughter. When questioned why she waited so long, Casey claimed she was simply trying to figure it out herself. While police searched for her daughter, Casey gave them the names of people who didn't exist, told multiple lies, and even hid evidence from them. Police eventually found Kaylee's remains in a trash bag a few miles from her home, and it was obvious there was foul play. Casey's car even contained evidence that Kaylee's body was in there at some point in time after her death. As more evidence was revealed, police realized Casey knew more than what she claimed. Throughout her trial, evidence further linked Casey to her daughter's murder, and her story changed multiple times. In a controversial decision that shocked the public, Casey was found not guilty and walked free after the conclusion of her trial. To this day, Kaylee's death remains unsolved, with Casey legally cleared of her connection to the case.
Basically got away with murder. There was a lot of evidence that showed that she was obviously guilty, but I think it was Florida.
Yeah.
You have to, I think they went for the death penalty, and for the death penalty, you have to have a unanimous jury with an unreasonable doubt that she committed it. What I remember being the issue with the case was that the lawyer wasn't blaming the parents at all, and the parents were equally involved. Even though Casey might have done it, she did not do it alone, and she could not have done it alone, and she was the only one being charged, and she would have went down for the crimes of 3 people, even though, like, that's what I remember being the biggest issue in it. So she completely got off because they didn't try for anything lesser than the death penalty.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that woman is free.
She is a disgusting human. I don't like to look at her. I remember how in an uproar everybody was when she was found not guilty. Like, I remember everybody freaking out because it's so, like, obvious.
Yeah. But I remember my parents were, like, watching every single day. Nancy Grace? Is that her? Is that the
Nancy Grace, yeah.
Yeah. Like, she was Casey Anthony's #1 hater. Yeah. Like, what is she saying these days?
Like, if Casey Anthony has no haters, Nancy Grace is dead.
The return of Tot Mom. It feels like a dirt sandwich in my mouth. TikTok stardom ahead as Casey Anthony haters beg, please go away. Advocate for my daughter? Who called 911? Not you. No one would even know her name if she had not been charged with murdering her daughter.
Because she was going in on her back then. I remember too, like, seeing all that.
Yeah, as you said, like, she posted a TikTok calling herself an advocate. Something I thought was interesting, the Viewer's Voice YouTube channel, she probably found her confidence because of Gypsy Rose's success.
Yeah, I saw that too. And that actually was like a good take to me because I could see it.
Well, I was at Planet Fitness yesterday, and on the damn news, you've got Gypsy Rose and her new baby doing an interview.
Yeah.
She murdered her mother. Like, I understand Gypsy Rose was tortured, basically, as a person, but, like, you can't take the law into your own hands and handle it how you see fit.
And you can't be off with a baby free doing interviews on TV when the person that you set up to do the murder in prison for life.
Yeah.
Like, make it make sense. It doesn't.
I'm not, like, a Gypsy Rose fan. I don't understand all the love that she gets, honestly.
No, me neither. I thought that was an interesting and good take that I wouldn't have thought of, but I think is true once I think about it.
She also said she wants to advocate for the LGBTQ community.
I can guarantee you
They don't
want you. They don't want you to, baby. So do you want to react to the TikTok?
Yes.
Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate.
Already, we're starting. I find it ironic how she says, how she's in there when she first starts it out and she's like, before I sweat to death. And it's like, yeah, like, your daughter was in your trunk for months, so
oh my god.
Like, wonder how she felt, Casey.
Jail. Your daughter was in your trunk. I know. It's true. I mean, she's right. Jill is right. But it is. Oh my god.
You weren't expecting that one.
Okay. Honestly, whatever you said, hold on, pause it. I kind of did expect you to say that. I just can't believe you did.
I mean, it's true though.
It is. It really is. Okay.
I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done.
Nobody wants you to advocate for yourself.
I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself.
The top comment. Casey Anthony rebranding herself as a legal advocate is Jeffrey Dahmer opening a steakhouse.
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Like, this is just so absurd.
I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a
We don't want to be reintroduced. We don't want to know you, Casey.
We don't care. We don't need a rebrand from Casey Anthony in 2025. You got away with it. Go enjoy that.
Directly, up until this point, that has never happened.
Because nobody wanted it.
Be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters.
Literally, nobody has ever said, what's Casey Anthony's email address? I really want to correspond with her.
And get some, honestly, I bet people will reach out to her for advice. She got away with it.
Yeah, but like, what is she really going to correspond with you over email about? Like,
so fast. What is she really going to do?
I'm an auctioneer.
Jill is heated.
Yeah. I mean, like, what is she really going to correspond with people about over email? Like, she's not going to be like, all right, this is how you do it. You go to Disney World and you tell them that they were with a nanny. If they ask the name, just say it was Zanny. Just say the name was Zanny the nanny. It's like, what?
To be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights.
Oh,
we don't want her
either.
either.
It's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as...
That was thrust upon you. You thrust it upon yourself when you murdered your child. Literally, I mean, you can tell from this video, this is like proving to me even more without a doubt that she killed Kylie, which we knew already, right? But this is proving to me that she did it because...
Yes.
What? Because... she's living her little happy life, being a freaking legal advocate and supporting women's rights and getting like living her perfect little life. Still has no children. She didn't want any kids ever, you know. Like, and it just shows that she still is living that same way. Like, to me, does that make sense? I'm literally like,
you said this video proves that she did it. What do you mean? Like,
I'm saying, like,
we do not think this situation is funny, but Jill is just so heated, and I'm just understanding.
The whole thing back in the day was that, like, after her daughter went missing, she's, like, out at the club and, like, out living her best life, doing all the things, like, acting like no care in the world, you know, that Casey was gone, missing, like she was dead, but they didn't know that. And she was just fine with it. And I'm just saying, like, she still has no kids. She seems to be getting a lot of Botox, like you said. Now she's, like, trying to be some social media influencer. It's like, you can tell she never wanted the responsibility of being a parent.
Yeah.
Like, and so to me, that just proves even more that she did it.
I see. Okay. Okay. I wonder how old she is.
Look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short.
Okay, can you imagine Casey Anthony just talking all the time unedited? What is she going to say? We're going to find out more details because she's going to slip up.
I don't know what she's thinking doing this.
But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car. And I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And with the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time and we'll see how this goes.
Can you imagine? Substack is probably shitting their pants.
Did you watch the Gabby Petito documentary series?
Yes.
Me too.
Okay.
Coming to you from the editing room, I just wanted to jump on here and give you guys a heads up that we will be going into detail about the Gabby Petito case here. If subjects such as DV, self-harm, or anything of that nature is sensitive to you, it may be best that you jump to the next lighthearted topic. That is Millie Bobbie Brown's hair color. I will have the timestamp for when that section starts on the screen right now.
Yeah, I followed this when it was happening. And then I watched this documentary. I mean, first of all, like, there were just a lot of weird things to me. I thought the girl with the black hair who was like
friends with him first.
Yeah. I thought she was a little sus. Like, I think they had her like tell the story in the beginning as if she didn't know how it ended already. Because like she was really like positively like talking about him, and like you have to think like they recorded all this after this is all already said and done. So like I know what I think you're talking about, and like I thought about it too, and I was like, maybe she's just not good at like faking like maybe it was just coming off weird because she was like being inauthentic because she knows that he's like a murderer now. Yeah, it could be. I just thought it was weird being like, yeah, before he dated Gabby, he left a little note in my dresser and was like, you're either the love of my life or my best friend, and I don't know how to tell which one. And it's like, maybe leave that out. Cut it.
Yeah, like you know, it's like, unnecessary to the plot.
Yeah. It just seemed like she was kind of, in those moments, would seem like she was kind of maybe swooning over Brian.
Maybe like since he's like dead and like famous now, she like looks at him like with like a positive. Like obviously negative, but like in like a iconic way.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like she perceives them as like when people die, like your brain puts them on like a pedestal of like thinking they were better than they were.
Yeah.
And maybe I mean obviously he's like a murderer. I don't know, that's weird. But I get what you're saying. Like I got the same vibe though.
Yeah. And then I also thought it was weird. I feel like I need to tiptoe around this because I'm sorry that her parents lost a child, right? Like it's sad and I feel for them. But I feel like they were a little bit like, the mom didn't talk to her for like, 13 days or something?
I think.
And was like,
she hadn't heard from her in 10 days before she called the police. By the time they had called and reported a missing person, Brian was already at his parents' house.
Like, I know that in hindsight, even if the day, like one day had passed and they hadn't heard from her, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. Like, I know that. But I'm just like, as a parent, because it seemed in the documentary that they would like speak kind of on a daily basis, you know? And so it's like, as a parent who talks to your kid every day and that's like the regular, to go 10 days without hearing from them and be like, wonder what's up. Like, I'm just like,
I guess one thing though is that Brian did have her phone and was sending some text messages to her mom, which she said looking back she can see why they were weird because she called her grandpa like by his first name or whatever. But like I guess he did send her a few texts like in their defense a little bit. But I thought that too, like 10 days is a long time to go without hearing from someone before you like call the police.
Yeah, and then when they find out she's missing, like, what parents don't, I know it was the mom, dad, and the stepmom and stepdad. I'm like, what parents don't like all jump up and rush to go where their daughter is missing and like look for her? Like, they were like, they chose one and it was a step parent to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, like they were just confusing me the whole time. I'm like, I don't get y'all. I don't understand. Because if my daughter was missing, like I wouldn't be like asking anybody else to go in my place. I'd be jumping up to go look for her. It was just weird to me.
Yeah. I remember following the case like when she was missing. I remember like that time frame. I don't know why. I thought she had posted multiple YouTube videos. I didn't realize she'd literally only ever posted one. It was just like so sad. Honestly, I had forgotten that Brian Laundrie like committed suicide. I remember whenever he went missing and like a bunch of people had like shared photos and stuff, and I thought I remembered hearing that he had committed suicide, but I'd really forgotten about it. I just remembered really vividly that he went missing. So at the end of the freaking show, whenever it talked about him like killing himself, I was so angry because I was like, that freaking dude like did this to her, lied in his suicide note about saying that she begged him
like, okay,
to take her life
because she fell on a rock. Like, I just I'm not buying it. No. I'm not buying what you're
And I'm like, imagine going out on a lie. He probably was like, everybody will believe me because I'll be dead. And like, nobody would lie in a suicide note.
Okay, but the thing about that is that I wanted to ask or say and see what your thoughts on it were. I am very much not convinced that he is dead.
Oh, really?
Very much so. So, like, I think that it's weird that when they found Gabby, they found Gabby after 2 weeks, or it was, what was it, a month or something. Like, they found her body, and it still had flesh, still had hair, still had all that kind of stuff to identify who it was just by looking. And he supposedly died like a week or two before they found him.
Flooded is what they said.
And all he was bones, though. Like, I just don't think that is the way that happens.
And you know what I'm remembering? Right after he killed her, he went for that walk and got picked up by people, and his camera roll were like photos of things that he was posting and pretending like they were on a hike, but he was taking pictures of a bunch of bones.
And the note, like, from his mom saying, like, if you killed somebody, I would take up for you, or like whatever she said. It's like, I think he hid out at his parents' house. They came up with a plan. Yeah. And then they executed that plan to look like he killed himself, and he is somewhere.
I think the skull, I thought, was it with a gun? I feel like the skull showed some kind of evidence of it.
They identified him through dental records, and I have heard, they didn't say it in the documentary, but just from like true crime people and stuff, that the person who identified the dental records and stuff was a like uncle or aunt or like a family member that was like a dentist or something. That's like it all just lined up to where like I'm just fully not convinced.
The ending upset me because I was like, dang, like they'll never have any answers or like have any resolution from that. And it was just, she's so young and like,
I know, she seemed like so sweet, and like I bet it just sucks because I bet with like the van life kind of thing, like if she would still be alive and would have kept posting and stuff, she probably would have had a following, you know? Like, and it just sucks that people who are so nice and stuff end up with people who just suck.
Yeah.
And are horrible.
Yeah. And even like in that situation where she was like talking to the cop whenever they got called, whenever they were like on the side of the road, like she took blame for him. And literally like the person called in and said that the man was slapping the woman in that situation. And she like was like, I just act crazy sometimes. Like she like blamed herself.
She was so distraught and like so, you can tell her anxiety was like through the roof. It's really hard to watch all of that. What do you think about the cops like in that scenario? How
I will say she admitted to the police that she hit him, and they could have done something even though they had a witness that said otherwise. If the victim is taking blame in front of you, like I think that they kind of did the best. Like the worst thing they could have done is just been like, okay, well, nothing's going on here.
Yeah.
I think the best thing they did was like get her to talk to her mom on the phone and get away from him for the night. They should have put her in the hotel and had him sleep in the van. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Because I see a lot of people like blaming those cops, and it's like I get it, and their instinct was that she was being abused or like that he was abusive, but it's like if the roles were reversed and the man and the girl and like somebody said, I saw a woman like hitting on a man, and then they pulled up and the guy's like, no, I reached over and I did this and like blah, blah, blah. I mean, people wouldn't be thinking of it that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. People would be like, if the person that you're asking, like, hey, did he hit you, is saying, no, I reached over him first and like I did it and like that's why this happened and like it's really like it's okay. You have to take what they're saying because like that's the person that you're asking about, you know?
And I even think in the documentary, like her mom like made a comment about how like she couldn't believe that the police were like interrogating her. And I don't think the police were interrogating her. I think they were just trying to get her away from him for a minute so that she would feel safe enough to be honest about what was going on. And
I think
she just chose not to.
Yeah, I think they were really trying to pull it out of her, honestly. And it's sad because a lot of abusive relationships, that's how it goes. Like you make an excuse for why they did the things they did to you. You know, you're like, oh, but it was like me. I did something stupid, and like that's why they hit me. You know, like it's actually very common that happens.
Yeah,
I feel for her family and her friends, and like I know I kind of went into her family a little bit, but like I do feel for them. Like I'm not trying to just be an asshole. I'm just saying. Yeah. You know?
No, I get what you mean. Like, I also thought it though, like whenever they like didn't fly there immediately, but maybe they just really never could have imagined that was what was going on until it had been a couple days. You know what I mean? Like, or that night they put in the missing persons report, and then like he was literally at their house, and to me, like the moment you find out he's at the house, the van is there, and Gabby's not there, like
yeah,
like it's so sad. That was the saddest part of the story because it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like the van's here, but she's not.
And
like,
knowing that he was in there, and if they would have found her sooner, they could have charged him and like had him as a suspect, and he was right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
A lighter note.
Yeah, a lighter hair note.
Yeah.
Millie Bobbie Brown has been getting... I've seen her name in the news like a lot the last few weeks. She was walking a red carpet and got a lot of negative feedback based on her appearance. And here's the look that people are commenting on. I really hate that dress.
I feel like... I feel like it looks like you bought it from Dillard's, kind of.
Yeah, I think that's why I don't like it. It like reminds me of like prom back in my day.
I feel like I'm just like kind of being a little much on this episode. But
Okay.
She's beautiful, right? Like she's a beautiful girl. I think that this look ages her.
Yeah, the blonde, like the yellow blonde, like ages her a little bit.
Yeah, like she's 21, or is she 21 or 22?
21.
Okay. She's 21, and like here she's looking 35 to me. Like, not meaning that she doesn't look good or that like 35 is old or anything like that, but for a 21-year-old, this is aging her.
Yeah, and I really think it's just the yellow blonde with the baby blue. Like, I think it's just the colors, like, more than anything. And that's like normal. And it's also like older school hair, like that yellow tone of blonde. I hate it, but that's just me. So the next TikTok is her responding to people commenting on her appearance.
One article reads, "Why are Gen Zers like Millie Bobbie Brown aging so badly? What has Millie Bobbie Brown done to her face?" Matt Lucas takes savage swipe at Millie Bobbie Brown's new mummy makeover look. "This isn't journalism. This is bullying." I started in the industry when I was 10 years old. I grew up in front of the world, and for some reason, people can't seem to grow up with me. Instead, they act like I'm supposed to stay frozen in time, like I should still look the way I did on Stranger Things Season 1. And because I don't, I'm now a target. The fact that adult writers are spending their time dissecting my face, my body, my choices is disturbing, and the fact that some of these articles are written by women makes it even worse. Disillusioned people can't handle seeing a girl become a woman on her terms, not their own. If you have a problem with that, I have to wonder, what is it that actually makes you so uncomfortable? Let's do better, not just for me, but for every young girl who deserves to grow up without the fear of being torn apart for simply existing. I refuse to apologize for growing up. I refuse to make myself smaller to fit the unrealistic expectations of people who can't handle seeing a girl become a woman.
I mean, yeah. Like, I don't think people should be writing articles about, like, bad things about her looks and stuff.
Who's writing these articles, though? Like, who are the real... Like, I know people always say, like, that people are doing... It's like everyone's always asking. It's like, these people are writing these articles, but who are these people? Like... Is it real, or is it an AI bot that just thinks people are going to click on it? So they like make it like, are people with real brains doing this? Because it blows my mind.
I didn't even know that's like what we were going to be saying when I was like, she's looking older. Yeah. Like, I did not mean that she's not beautiful. She is a beautiful girl. I wasn't meaning like ew, she looks so old. Like, that wasn't where I was coming from. I just was making a statement, okay?
There are rumors swirling that she dyed her hair blonde because she could be in the next Britney Spears biopic. There are rumors that she's changing her hair color in preparation for the role, and she does kind of look like Britney in these videos.
Nothing would make me happier than being able to play such an iconic, beautiful person. So, I mean,
what do you think?
You know, she is an absolute icon. I would love nothing more than to be a part of her story.
Yeah.
But that's her story, and I am, you know, in full support of her bringing her story to life.
How she wants to.
How she wants to, absolutely.
Yes,
I mean, I would not want that. You know, I would want somebody bringing it to life in the most beautiful way. So I can, you know, I would always be open to something like that.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about her possibly playing Britney, and I think it's possible.
I could see her doing it as an actress and like doing a really good job at it. We really want to see Tate McRae or Addison Rae in there. Maybe they would be too big of characters to like pull away from Britney, you know?
Whereas like Millie is an actual actor, so she could probably like nail the role the way that it needs to be done.
Yeah.
This biopic is going to be how people watch Selena, you know, like, and all those other kind of movies that come out like that. It's going to be big, and it's going to be one that people rewatch like through all the years. So they're going to want it done right with a good actor, I feel.
I really wonder when it's coming out, if it is ever coming out.
I guess
We've been
we'll
talking
find
about it for a year, maybe. I've heard about it for a year of it being started about being just like started at some point. So I'm just curious. Yeah.
What did happen for movies?
The Oscars.
Yes.
We'll do a quick little recap. Wicked did not sweep.
I saw that people were really like upset, and they were like, Ariana's so sad.
I heard a rumor that whenever there's a second film coming out, sometimes they wait to do the sweep whenever the second one comes out. That could make sense because otherwise it's like, it's just too much.
You got awards for only half of the work.
Right.
Like half of the body of work, you know? So
they won Best Costume Design and Best Production Design. Emilia Perez also only won 2 Oscars despite so many nominations.
I'm still surprised that it won any. I've been seeing a lot of backlash that like it's not good.
Yeah. Well, Zoe Saldana won Best Supporting Actress and defends the message of Emilia Perez after all of the controversy.
First of all, I'm very, very sorry that you and so many Mexicans felt offended. That was never our intention. We spoke and we came from a place of love, and I will stand by that. I don't share your opinion. For me, the heart of this movie was not Mexico. We weren't making a film about a country. We were making a film about 4 women. Yes. And these women could have been Russian, could have been Dominican, could have been black from Detroit, could have been from Israel, could have been from Gaza. And these women are still very universal women that are struggling every day at trying to survive systemic oppression and trying to find their most authentic voices. So I will stand by that. But I'm also always open to sit down with all of my Mexican brothers and sisters and with love and respect, having a great conversation on how Emilia could have been done better. I have no problem.
I'm pretty sure the movie was about Mexico, though. I could be wrong.
So, I mean, I guess if we're getting technical, she could also be right. That, like, if it's about the perspective of a Mexican woman, it's like it was about women.
Right. Which I understand what she's saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't seen it, so I think I'd have more context if I actually saw the movie, and I'd have more of an opinion.
Yeah.
But without seeing it and only seeing, like, the clips of Selena Gomez being like, "Ay, qué fabulosa," like, you know, like.
I'm not as happy with what I feel like I could have done in Spanish. Perhaps I could have had more time with it. It was a challenge for me, for sure.
After all the controversial tweets from Carla Sofia Gascon, she did attend the Oscars after Sony took away the funding to have her there. So she paid for her own hotel, clothing, flights, all that stuff. She did attend, although she didn't end up walking the carpet. She just went straight to her seat, which was probably the best move. All this stuff like resurfaced like after they got all their Oscar nominations because people were already hating on the movie, and I think it made people dig into the cast like digital footprint, and they just found like a lot of stuff about her. So Kylie Jenner was introduced to Elton John by Timothée Chalamet. And,
Chalamet.
Yeah. She didn't stand up out of her seat when she was introduced to Sir Elton John. Could say it's a nothing burger. It doesn't matter.
It's like a nothing burger because like
Trisha's mom was pissed off.
It seems like she almost got introduced like as a like Timothy and Elton John were talking, having their own discussion, and he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is my girlfriend or whatever." It wasn't like they were supposed to be meeting and whatever. It was like a brief, like, this is so-and-so, like, anyways, back to our conversation.
Yeah, and there's a couple of thoughts that I have about it. So the last time that Kylie Jenner went to an award show with Timothy, she, like, was really excited, I guess, to introduce herself to Demi Moore. Mm-hmm. And Demi Moore didn't notice that she, like, stood up to, like, talk to her, and Demi Moore kept walking. And then there were headlines that Demi Moore snubbed her, that she didn't want to talk to her. And it's like, y'all can't do headlines about both. Mm-hmm. But the other thought is that she didn't stand up because, like, she's just trying really hard not to draw any attention to herself in this moment. Like, she didn't want to take away from, like, this is his night.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't think it's that serious.
I don't either, but
I don't think she was trying to disrespect Elton John.
Yeah, like, I just thought it was funny.
She literally shook his hand,
Yeah,
so
and then he kissed it, and
I saw the Halle Berry and Adrian Brody kiss.
Yeah, in front of the girlfriend.
Yeah, and Halle says, "I'm sorry, I have to do this."
Yeah.
Well, but listen, okay? Me personally, I think because she was doing this because of what he did in 2003, right? She's like getting him back, like a hee gotcha back, like kind of a thing. And we also have to think, I feel like older people are not as weird about that kind of thing as like our generation is, because when I think about it, like people like my mom and my aunts and stuff, like when they meet people, like they'll be married and the other person's married and they like kiss each other on the cheeks and like whatever. Our generation does not do that. Like,
I get that. I think that it was all planned. I think the girlfriend knew. I think everybody knew. I think that they were like, we should reenact that 2003 thing and like make headlines about it or whatever. If she didn't, and I saw someone that looked like Halle Berry come up and kiss the man that I was with, I'd probably be like, damn. You know what I mean? Halle Berry's like one of those girls that it's just like she's that girl. So there's like that element to it. It was obviously all in good fun. They're also like actors, so like it's part of their job to kiss each other.
Yeah, and I think like one, she is somebody who, like how we talked about before, is dating an actor. So it's like, I know they weren't like acting right here, but I'm just saying to preface, like when you're with an actor, you're somebody who's okay with somebody being in character and doing that kind of thing. Yeah. So you obviously are not crazy, insecure, or jealous about your significant other kissing somebody. And when you see it in front of you and see that it was all in good fun, I could see how you're just like, okay, hee hee.
It was them continuing to hold each other and sway back and forth after the kiss where I'd start to be like, okay, let go, bitch.
Yeah. We can end it on the Glambot, see who the best dressed is. I do love me some Glambot.
Doja Cat looks great. Mr. Saldana. Demi Moore looks great.
Yeah, she's so pretty. I need some serves. I'm not seeing
Ethan Slater is... Ugh. I just don't like it.
Boo. Okay, Bretman Rock was kind of slaying.
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
I love Lupita as an actor. She's so good.
Elle Fanning is so weird to me in like the coolest way.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Whoopi Goldberg. Queen Latifah.
That's a cute Glambot from Lisa from Blackpink.
Why are they giving Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah. I liked it though.
I know. Wow, she looks really good.
Yeah. Like, I like to think that I would slay, but I just know that I wouldn't. It would be like that video on TikTok where they make fun of the people who can't find the camera on the Glambot. and because it's in slow motion, you can really tell. They'll be like...
All right, well, this has been the longest Hot Topics episode yet. Rosanna Pansino got us hot.
Yes. So just remember, Rosanna, you're the problem.
You are the problem. If you guys like this video, be sure to rate it 5 stars on Apple Apple and Spotify, 5 stars.
And please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. Tell all your friends to watch. Send them the link. And maybe they'll subscribe too. If you're the friend, hi.
Hello. And we'll see you next Monday. This week, y'all are listening to this. We are having the time of our lives by the time y'all are watching this. Y'all just wait for it. We've got fresh content coming.
So make sure to subscribe to see that. Okay, thanks. TTYL.
Bye.
Death to men. All of them.
Now she wants to kill all men.
I don't hate all of a gender.
I just call her Dum Dum now, and I don't really call names. Misinformation, Dum Dum. But every time she talks, it's just bootlicking Tana.
That seems a weird way to start a story for me.
Because she just is a yes man. She's there as a yes man. I just don't think
For a group that hates men so much, she really is being a yes man.